What's up, guys? Welcome back, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. As you can see, rocking the specs tonight. So happy to be back, man. We've been away. Well, I've been away for 2 consecutive weeks. You know, we had the new year. So hopefully all of you guys had a happy new year. And I know Smitty, definitely kept things rolling. Last week, I was out of town, man. I was down in Tampa. Had to go out of town. My wife's father moved to Tampa. They're no longer in cold New York. We still go there, though, because we still got family out there. But they decided to go to Tampa. And guess what? We go to Tampa last week, and the highest it got was 50 degrees. So we couldn't find any warmth. But here we are, man, back for another episode 181. And I think it should be interesting, man. Of course, the topics will include Madden, and I think this is going to be an interesting show because of the way I'm going to position as far as the expectations for Madden 19. So sit tight for that. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and get it rolling. We got Smitty along with us tonight, of course, and Azure may or may not make it, guys. You know, his schedule is crazy. He's a teacher. So, we've been blessed to have him the last few weeks. But, we'll see how it goes from here on out. But either way, we still holding him down. We're going to do the show just like we always do. So I'll throw it to Smitty. I can't ask him, how everything is with the Lions. I mean, we're getting close to this time, guys. All of us are going to be saying this in a moment. I mean, I might be saying this next week. You never know. So other than that, man, Smitty, how's everything been going, man?
No, everything's been good. Can't complain. I had a good new year. Was riding solo on last week. But yeah, like I said, I can't say nothing. Lions trying to get a coach right now. So fired Jim Caldwell, which, I don't think that needed to be done, but hey, that's what they chose to do.
Yeah. And I don't like that, Smitty. I don't like that.
But I mean, that was their decision, but we gotta wait and see who. I think my man from the Patriots, he may be going to the Giants from the way it sounded. So we'll have to wait and see how things go with that. But one thing I will say real quick, really, really quick, okay? Shout out to my man's DJ81. Shout out to Dez. Listen, I understand why you don't interact too much on Twitter like that.
Yeah, I told y'all
because some people listen. I'm gonna keep it simple like this, okay? If you post a tweet, I'm simply sharing a thought. That's all it is. I'm not emotionally strung out. I'm not mad or pissed off or nothing like that. Basically, it was about the whole, addressing franchise mode in Madden, but then I made a point to DJ saying that gameplay, yes, both are priority, but gameplay is going to reign supreme. Like, that's going to matter the most because franchise mode is going to sustain based off of what gameplay gives.
Right.
And DJ just figured that, the way he was responding was like, why are you responding like, like what I'm saying is a blanket statement or what have you. Like, I'm like, no, I've said it on this show many times. I've been very adamant. We told y'all before Madden 18 came out, franchise mode was not hitting. We told y'all what Deuce Douglas did is literally what we're looking to see happen in this game. Like, whenever we get to go down to the studio, that's going to be the focal point. What from Deuce Douglas were y'all able to do, or whatever it is that's similar to it? What did you guys do? Flat out. Because franchise has to definitely step up, but the gameplay has to sustain as well.
Has to.
That's it. Like, Sim, you stream, I stream the game. You streamed the game the other night. Deuce Douglas's franchise, they could have that entire franchise mode the way they got decked out in Madden right now. But you saw the gameplay shortcomings and hiccups and everything that was going on. that's going to take away from the value of all that work being done on the franchise mode because of the gameplay shortcomings. And that's going to get annoying. You know what I mean? It's going to get annoying. It's going to wear on people. It's going to make you not want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people will be okay and just deal with it. But me, I'm not that type that's like, man, I'm just going to play through it and I'm okay with that because no, I'm not, but I'm not okay with it. I need to see the game play match. And that's the only point that I was making was in that regard. Making that point is not damage controlling VF. So once again, please, pretty please, if you're going to use terms, please know what they mean before you say them. Don't just be popping off and you don't know exactly what a term means. Don't do that. That doesn't make any sense to do that. It's not necessary. And like I said, look, from what you were saying, you're saying that, oh, it's all love and all that. Use my dude and all that. Listen, what you said was disrespectful. That's not love by any means. You had no context in regards of what I was saying in terms of what I meant. You didn't bother to ask questions, and nor did DJ. So therefore, I'm glad to see DJ there. Shout out to you, but you didn't bother to get context. And it's as simple as that, dude. At the end of the day, when we all stream these games and play these games and all that stuff, we're not sitting there rifling through franchise mode options. We're actually showcasing gameplay. That's the point that I'm getting at. So, but, everybody has their own view, perspective, or whatever in terms of what they like. And that's perfectly fine. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you're going to say it, show it when you speaking. That's all you got to do, DJ. Just show it. Showcase it. You was looking a lot like Getting the way you was talking the other day. Well, yesterday. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know why you did all that. It wasn't necessary. That's what I'm saying. But we said multiple times that franchise mode needs to be fully revamped. At no point, any point, am I saying don't do anything with gameplay, just work on franchise. I'm not saying that's not what we're getting at all. There are many things core gameplay has to get right in order to make franchise mode sustainable. Like, zone, like talked about zone play. We talk about the wide out DB interactions. We talk about player movement. We talk about tackling and blocking. Like there's some stuff that if they can get better and be more stable, basically, and branch out on that, that's going to make franchise mode that much better. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what they're doing specifically yet. We got to wait and see. But that's the bottom line that we need to see that stuff. We need to see that stuff unfold. So, and so that's what I'm just saying, DJ. Look, when we post a tweet, that's the difference between posting text and actually talking to somebody. Because if you post a text, you can take it however you want. That's why I wasn't tripping at all. That's why I was saying, like, yo, if there's a problem, let me know something. Because, like, I'm just making a point. I'm not trying to overshadow anybody. No, everyone's point is valid. So we all want franchise mode. Bottom line, at the end of the day, I'm glad. Oh, yeah, and this is the other thing, too. I did say it the other week, but I'm glad to see that Deuce Douglas is back on the scene.
Yes, where's he been, man?
He chose to go away. Like he said, he purposely chose to go away for a little bit.
That's cool.
But I'm glad
he's
back.
that.
Yeah, so putting out mock-ups and all that good stuff and the camera views and stuff he's shown, all that stuff. That's why I said, yo, that's why as soon as I saw him back online, Rex, he's back. You know what I'm saying? Like, get at him. Y'all connect or click, whatever, ASAP.
Take advantage of the opportunities, guys, because let me say this real quick, Smitty.
Go ahead,
there's
man.
There's others who've been offered to come down and they haven't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're
Yeah,
not,
man.
if you're not, you know, if you're making all of these things like we did in the beginning, we made these things and these videos and all that to get there, and we went there. Whether you become a game changer or not is irrelevant. I'm talking about just going.
Yeah.
And there's people that I know for sure that's being offered and they're not going, but they're very vocal. And I'm like, what's going on? Just
That's
saying.
jump on those opportunities. Even if you get only one chance to go down there and that's it. Make that impression. Show them what needs to be done. Like, let it, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll work with you. They'll communicate with you and all that good stuff, even if you're not able to make it. But at least give the communication, like establish that. You know, and that's a great opportunity to further establish it. That's why I'm glad to see them acknowledge Deuce on that level. And I want to see him go down there. I would love to see him go down there in the building and press and see what he can bring to the table. Like what is it that he could bring forth that can be done this year? You know what I'm saying? Because Madden 18, like I've said before, you know, and bringing up the examples in the past, it's going to be a rough transition going from one and, you know, going to a new engine. And shout out to Lex Marsden. He broke this down with his NCAA franchise breakdown. When your game, NCAA, he basically talked about every time the game went from one generation to another, the game suffered. It always suffered for like a year or two or so, because making that engine transition or that platform transition is tough. See what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, looking at Madden 18, that's rough. That's why the game didn't look like it had all this stuff and everything. Like a lot of people, you know, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but a decent number of people had big time expectations and expected the game to just leap like that because of Frostbite. And it's more to it than that. They still got to build that thing out. That's why we're really putting a lot of weight on Madden 19, especially with Rex basically, you know, listening to the other listening to Sim's interview from EA Play, but also the Muttman podcast. We got the majority of our team. Now we could go ahead and we could put this work in. Bet. So that's what I really am looking to see what these guys got with Madden 19 and all the stuff that Rex has been saying that they would potentially be able to do. So I want to see what they're able to pull off efficiently at launch. But on everything, please, I do not want to see this game, take a hit in terms of especially if the quality and everything is there before launch. I don't want to see the game taking these backslides. I understand putting simulation mode, putting the modes in there, and it didn't necessarily feel like that separation was there in year one, but you had to do it. So at least set it. So now I want to see the game build out, and I want to see that differential even more between the three levels, the three tiers. I want to see simulation mode. I want to see a lot built out, because the part that was the thing that's been the most disheartening over the years is these aspects: true step, pass placement, wideout DB interactions. When these aspects first made their debut, they were awesome. They were great. And then a patch comes along, you know, and then the game just falls off the rack. It falls off the tracks from what it was, from when we initially played. And I want to see this game just be consistent throughout and just stay that way. So we'll see what happens though, man. But you know, I just had to touch on that because over the past few weeks there, you know, I've been firing up these older Maddens. I've been playing Madden 16, you know, with no patch. I'm playing Madden 16, and I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be playing with wideout DB interactions, except build on that with 17 and 18. Not like how it is now, though. You know what I'm saying? It's It's not the way that it should be. It should be better than the way it is. You know what I mean? Like I made the point before. I never seen a defensive back that's better at playing wide receiver than an actual wide receiver in the NFL. I have yet to see that. So that's all I'm saying. And when I asked that question years ago, no one was able to answer that. But yet people were complaining because of the challenge that was presented. That fear, which Sim, myself, and AZ, when we was at the studio playing Madden 16 back then, was like, yo, look, the fear is there. The matchups are there. It was clicking. And then people got upset. And guess what? The game got dialed back. Everybody's able to make plays now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way the cookie ended up crumbling, unfortunately. But we need to see this. We need to see football, at least for us, for our setting, for the simulation setting, for our crowd. We need to see football replicated as much as possible as it can be on Sunday with all those facets. Let comp guys have their thing and do their arcade-ish thing with their execution and all that. Let them have that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But give us the rules, regulations. Let us have the pocket that just straight implodes in a few seconds, and we got to step into it. Come on, like I want to see all that. Make us have to play proper football and technique and things like that. I want to see all of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we ultimately need to truly give us that simulation experience. And then we can have our off and online CFMs and fully experience and just get fully immersed in franchise mode. At least that's what I'm hoping for Madden 19. I'm not, we've already said before, we're not expecting every single thing Deuce Douglas did and them to just have the mother load of franchise mode. It's just everything's supposed to be done. Like, no, I'm not expecting that at all. But what I am expecting is I'm expecting to see at least what they do to be immersive. That's going to keep me engaged throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? So then that way the gameplay doesn't get stale. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the main point that I'm getting at in that regard. But we'll see what happens, man. I'll throw it to you, Sim. My bad for going on there, man.
Nah, listen. It's good. I like when we dive right into the show. I know some people, they like to hear quick, introductions. Some don't. So I'll be 30 seconds on mine, and I'm going to go right into what Smitty was talking about. All right, guys, as far as the Steelers, hey, they're in the divisional round. They got to bye. They got to play Jacksonville. I don't think the game will go to the way it went the first time. If the Steelers' offense is consistent, if they score 21 points or more, stop the run, they'll win the game. That's just how I feel. Jacksonville has a great defense, yes. Can they be scored on? Yes. Have they lost to teams with a less potent offense than the Steelers? Yes. If they don't turn the ball over, speaking of the Steelers, I think they win. It should be a good game to watch, but that's just how I feel about it. If they lose, they lose, and hey, y'all will be hearing from me as to why they lost. But I think that's how it will go. That's my quick thought on it. We'll just have to keep our eyes on guys like Artie Burns. I'm a little over 30 seconds, but give me about 15 more. Artie Burns, Stephon Tuitt. There's another guy that's on the injury list. I can't remember who. I'm missing somebody, but we'll just have to watch these guys and see if they play. Just like with the Jags, we'll see if Puglesny plays and Telvin Smith, and there you go. That's how I think the game will go. I'm predicting a 21-13 or 20-10, something like that, unless the Steelers get hot and they explode. I don't think the Jags are capable of exploding, so I don't see them scoring them more than 20 points. So that's just how I see it. But if the Steelers don't stop the run, they're in trouble. And I don't think Ben turns the ball over 5 times again. So that's my quick thought on that. All right, let me chime into what Smitty was saying. A lot of people, and I thought this was funny too. I don't know. I see Smitty stepped away a minute. He may be able to still hear me. I thought this was funny.
I'm here.
I saw this on Twitter about a week ago, and they were doing this thing about these made up like awards for YouTubers or whatever. And I can't remember who posted it, but for me, they said the most incognito or Houdini-like act on Twitter or something. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because I told y'all I was gonna do this. So let me explain to you why I'm not as active on Twitter anymore. Main reason why. I'm just tired of arguing over opinions. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Prime example, if you look here in the chat, and shout outs to both of these guys because they fellow, community members. They followed us for a long time. So this is not picking on them. I'm just going to show you an example. My man Philly Chew and my man Philip Marcus. Philly Chew said, hey, Madden has been improving every year. We can't deny that. I actually agree. I think it has improved in some aspects yearly. There are still things that it hasn't improved on, but I think the game has moved towards getting better. 18, we could probably put an asterisk on 18 because we know 18 seemed to improve slightly, but then the wheels start coming off. So maybe the transition caught up to them. It kind of left us at that feeling of 17 and a half-ish, maybe. So I'll give you that. But from, let's say, Madden 12 to now, come on. That's my opinion. But I respect Philip Marcus. Philip Marcus said, no, it hasn't improved. That's his opinion. I'm not going to tell him he's wrong because guess what? Just like me, it may be things in Madden that he hasn't seen improve. So to him, the game hasn't changed. And I respect that wholeheartedly. So that's part of the reason why I don't engage in Twitter no more, because it's the same conversation every day, man. I can't do it. That's one reason. Reason number two, I'm going to keep it real quick. YouTube and social interaction almost remind me of today's music. You put out an album tonight. Next week, they want to hear your new album already. The album then came out, and by Monday, they like, man, I can't wait for the next one. I'm like, dude, you ain't even digest. Did you listen to the album? People calling albums classic after the first listen. Impossible. Now, you know a good album when you hear one. I'm talking to my hip-hop heads. You knew when you heard Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City the first time, you was like, whoa. Listen to it a few more times, again and again, and you like, yeah, this is a classic. Right? You knew when you heard Nas Illmatic, something special about this thing. Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. I mean, you knew. But also, I'll give you another analogy with Kendrick. Some people didn't think The Pimp a Butterfly was a good album. I said that album was fire because it wasn't the same as Good Kid, Mad City. Now, all of a sudden, years later, I'm seeing people say, man, Pimp the Butterfly might have been his best album because it took time for them to grow on him, right? So bring it back full circle. What I'm saying is, yeah, we knew The Chronic was a certified classic.
Oh,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. But, I'm just the type of guy that I got to consume stuff. I'm not waiting for Kendrick's next album after it just dropped. Like, that's how this community works now. This not community, but this society and generation.
Mm-hmm.
So let me not go too far off track. Twitter to me is the same way. And us being YouTubers and us being community members, some people only listen to the last thing we said. Like, people still hitting me up, man. When you don't do this, when you gonna do that? You don't never talk about this. You don't never talk about APF. You don't never talk about 2K5. Okay, have you seen my catalog of videos? I'm just saying, it was a time when I might have been the only one doing 2K8 videos. I'm just saying, I might have been for a segment. I might have been the only one doing them videos. So stop asking me stuff like that. Like, I'm tired of rehashing everything. Like, shout outs to this guy, I think it's Timothy, I can't remember his last name, Timothy Brandon, I think, on Twitter. He reposted my 2K5 is still the king of franchise video. It's currently, and this is not me tooting horns and nothing like that, because guys, my channel is not big. But that video currently is at 72,000 views. I explained in that video, this is 3 years ago, why it's still the king, and that video holds true today. a franchise. So you can't come at me like I'm ignoring franchise.
Right.
Just because we're not talking about stuff every day. And again, let me preface it with this. I don't know. I didn't see the conversation between DJ, Smitty, Dez, and others. And shout outs to those guys. I mean, they've been loyal listeners for a long time. And I'm not giving my opinion on what transpired because I didn't see it. I mean, that's honest. I didn't see the conversation. But I will say this. For those who feel like now you're not sure about what Sim and Smitty is saying, or oh, Sim and Smitty has changed. Oh, they don't see the light. Anybody like that, you haven't been watching. We have been the same people the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time. I have been this same guy the whole time. And just because I saw somebody say it today, you know, all that's going to happen is they're going to go to EA Play. They're going to say this, say that. And then that's not under our control. I thought this is what you wanted. I thought you wanted us to give you our opinion. I mean, think about it. Let's be real frank real quick. There's nothing that Smitty and I can do that's going to sell Madden more. Like, let's play the conspiracy theory real quick, because I love these type of situations. There's nothing that I can do myself to make Madden sell better. Think about that. Like think about what I'm trying to say. There's no benefit to me or Smitty or Azure to wave the pom-poms for Madden, and it doesn't do anything for me. Okay, I'm a YouTuber. You know, I'm trying to grow my channel. Y'all know that. I've been vocal about that in the last year or so. I'm currently at about 17,000 views. Subs. Okay, how many subs do QJB have?
Right.
Or Anto the Boss? I'm good game, bro.
Yeah.
Just understand what I'm saying. I am a small fish in this pond. Sim can't control the narrative of selling Madden. Guess what else Sim and Smitty is a part of? We are a part of the Sim community. How many units did Madden sell so far? Quite a bit. Do you think those are Sim guys? Do we hear those people complaining? So my point is, here we are. This is our community. We about like that. In a community that's this big, here we go. So all I'm trying to say is, if you got these type of conspiracy thoughts and they're working, man, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just a guy. Yeah,
where my check at? You
know, I have no shame. I'll tell y'all like this right now. If it meant feeding my family, let's say EA right now told me, listen, man, we want you on payroll. We're gonna pay you $250,000 a year. Y'all know what I would do? You would see me make YouTube videos saying Madden is the greatest game ever. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be very real. It ain't about what people on YouTube and Twitter thinks about me. If it's about me feeding my family, I'm choosing that. And I won't be that guy, the diehard. No. $250 a year, and they telling me all I gotta do is promote Madden. Come on, man. It's a game at the end of the day. That's not my integrity. Let's say that real quick, Smitty. My integrity could never be challenged when we're talking about video games.
Right. It's video games.
But the funny thing is, Smitty, I never put my integrity on the line. That's the ill part. That's the part that upsets me when some of you guys that have followed me, I see chirpings of, oh man, he changed. I'm like, really?
Y'all, the game changed. What the heck? Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't
gonna be better than that, man. That's what makes me a little disappointed. I'm like, y'all know me better than that. Because some of these people have come back to me now after not following me for the last 2 years. I'm not gonna say names, but people have actually hit me up, man. My bad, you was right. Bruh, I'm not gonna change. I'm not a fraud. I promise y'all, I'm not a fraud, and I'm not doing it for a game that doesn't give me any money. I don't get no money for this. So, but just to bring it back, man. Listen, I'm gonna continue to do what I've been doing. I've been very peaceful. I'm only on Twitter when I have a computer in my face. I didn't even put it back on my phone because I just can't. And I'm not, saying anything negative about anybody else because Smitty's on Twitter. He know I ain't saying nothing negative about him. This is just my choice because I can't keep going back and forth with people asking me the same questions over and over and over. The same stuff that you've heard me say for 4 or 5 years now. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that we try to kick to you that's the real, you dismiss it.
Yeah.
So, you know the saying, you argue with fools from a distance, they can't tell who's who.
We told you. We told y'all. Rex basically told all of us in June franchise mode wasn't hitting. People on Twitter talking about it to this day that listened to the interview back in June. They talking about it like they just found out franchise mode ain't there. So it's like we get it, and I understand the frustration. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. We definitely get, you're upset and everything. We're not cool with it either, but we understand what the situation is, and that's the whole thing. I get the reality of the situation. There is part of the development, the development chain, and I'm glad that Rex has came out and said many things. He's given all kinds of fruitful knowledge in terms of what goes on there. That's why we always said, that's why we've always said, man, I wish that Rex and these guys could share with you what they share with us. And they do now. So I'm like, bet. So you got the opportunity to get it. Yeah. But that's the key word, opportunity. But you got to make the decision to say, I'm gonna retain what Rex is saying. The same stuff the sentiments that we echo. We're not saying that what you're saying is far-fetched. We just got to be realistic with this stuff. Like, look, that tweet, ever since Deuce Douglas put out that very first tweet with that mock-up, I get tweets every single day, a retweet or another like about that franchise mode idea. Dude, like, these dudes saw it loud and clear all the way back then. Hey, Rex tweets him. He goes ahead and tweets John White. Hey, we're going to discuss this. That was a long time ago. Then these dudes reach out to him, and unfortunately, my man got offline for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
they trying to get these dudes trying to make some stuff happen. It's clear. And for the longest time, if you've been paying attention to Rex has said for the longest time, ever since he started that is his Twitter handle, we're franchise guys. We trust and believe. We are simulation guys. We are franchise guys. We want this game to be on point. We want this to be there. But as you've heard also through the years, there's obstacles internally that they have to face. Rex doesn't run Electronic Arts. He's an employee there. He doesn't run it. If he ran it, he'd do his own thing. But even then, it would still be questionable because EA is a publicly traded company. So you have investors and shareholders and such. So you just can't do everything you want to do. You have to be mindful of your investors. You have to please them. And he could come with all the football stuff all he wants. If investors don't like what they see, guess what? They're gonna have to curb it. And they're gonna have to showcase as to why the investment is worthwhile. And as you've heard, like we talked about a month ago, one of Rex's streams, they're starting to change the environment internally a bit because of the outside influence from people like us and others online and such. We got to keep pushing that and infiltrate the system. We got to show that, dude, what we bring to the table is of value. We're not just saying cater to a small number of people. We need to expand that mind frame, expand that mindset. Let them know that making a realistic football game is going to actually help them out. Not, well, let's do a little bit of a little bit. Don't do too much. Like, no. You go to the maximum. That's how you get that. That's how you get maximum results. That's how you end up selling 10 million copies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I don't know why marketing don't see that. I mean, it don't take a genius. I ain't go to school for marketing, but it don't take a genius to figure out. At one point, Madden was selling 6 or so million copies. 2K5 or 2K football in general, 3 to 4 million. Now you're the only one on the block. Why you ain't selling 10? It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. Like, what's going on? I'd be in the office like, okay, where are these people? You see what I'm saying?
When 2K5 sold around 4 million, Madden 04 sold about 10.
Wow.
See what I'm saying? So it's like you got all these people that aren't purchasing. Come on, man, you tripping. But yet the numbers, but yet the numbers on FIFA, the millions keep rising and rising. Come on, man. I'm saying, like, you could do it. You could do it, man. I just gotta build, man. Come on.
Crazy,
that's the bottom line, bro. Like, and that's it. But I mean, like I said, those are powers that be. They're not football guys. Rex has said that clear as day. He didn't skate around it. He straight up said, he's like, they're not football guys. They just want to see an OBJ catch happen and just call it a day. You see what I'm saying? That's the stuff that he's got to fight with. How many? And this is the stuff that we said many times. Why do these dudes they got to pound on the table? They got to fight this. They got to fight that. These are the obstacles. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we try to let y'all know it's not to be like, it's not to say, oh, just be patient and be cool with them. Yeah. I ain't say it's got nothing to do with being patient. It's got every, yeah, this is I'm just telling you guys, like, look, this is the reality of the situation, guys. What y'all want to do with it? You know what I'm saying? We could push or we can not push. Don't play the game then. You know what I mean? Like, buy the game, don't buy the game. That's why I say that every year. You know, this is why we do this. But we do this because we want the game. We actually do bring value to the table. Our community does bring value to the table. You know, I know some people think that we don't, you know, and I'm saying I'm not saying me and Sim and AZ. I'm just saying everybody, like the community. We do matter. Trust and believe. It's not all about just, oh man, it's just about the money and that's it. No, well, money, of course, is always going to play a role, but it's not just that. Sometimes when focuses shift with the product, guess what Rex has to do? He's got to roll with it. So he's rolling with it, but it's like, dude, I'm a sim first guy, but I got to roll with this. You know what I'm saying? Even in the role I'm at, I got to roll with this. But trust and believe, I got y'all in the back of my mind. Don't get it twisted. I ain't forgot about y'all. So that's why I appreciate Rex and Clinton, you know, a lot of other guys that are in the building, A-Dub and everything. We full on appreciate these guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when Rex said, the thing that stuck with me the most was when he said that in that Muttman joint, he said that NCAA 14 is the last game that he would put that stamp on. That stamp of approval on and stand behind. That's huge. That's ginormous to me right there.
Ooh, that said a lot, man. That's very telling right there.
Yeah. I'm like, so of all these Maddens you done worked on everything, this ain't the one that I would stamp on and say, you know what? I'm exceptionally proud of this joint right here. And it's funny to hear him say that when I don't know how many people across the community have been talking about how good NCAA is. See what I'm saying? So it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on, man. And this is what I'm saying. It sucks. It sucks to have to wait for it. But that was one of the first things I learned when I first went down to the studio back in 2012. Me and Sim went down there. Is that, dang, okay, this is a long haul process. This ain't something that they could just tweak and tune and maybe 2 or 3 updates later, bam, it's all fixed. That was my perception. And I quickly found out, no, that's not how it works at all. So I got to roll with it. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to keep pressing the message the way we do. Not just on here, but what we do offline and things like that. So, but yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. And I'm a couple things I'm going to say real quick, and then we'll move to the topics. Stack, I sent you your invite. He said he wanted to come on. I'm going to say something real quick. I feel like I got to take it here because y'all know I always let y'all know what I'm really thinking. At the end of the day, before I even get into the next couple things I want to say, it's a game, man. Like I need some of y'all to stop being so emotional about a game. It's a game. We all want a nice game to play, but at the end of the day, it's a game. I can't be that locked in every day about a video game when you got things out there like like H&M. Like what they're doing in the world in 2018, putting this little boy in a photo shoot with the coolest monkey in the jungle. I got to take it there. And I know some people ain't gonna be a little rattled by that, but I don't care. When you got stuff like that happening now in 2018, do you really think video games is the most important thing on my mind? No, that's my release. So the last thing I want to do is be on Twitter or on social media arguing with people over a daggone video game. I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry. Y'all can have your opinion. You can be upset. You can say, oh, Sim, whatever. I don't care, man. You either with me or you're not. And that goes for anybody, whether you are day one or a day now. If you don't know who I am by now, I feel bad for you. I'm going to pray for you. God bless you. If I ain't the guy that you thought I was a couple years ago, okay, I pray for you just the same. But that's why I can't do this. I love this Thursday show and I love getting it in live, but that's why y'all don't see me. Bro, there's more things for me really to be worrying about daily other than a video game. At the end of the day, if Rex and Clint and A-Dub, which is a guy that's my guy, all of them are. But I talk to A-Dub all the time and guys like Scant that y'all don't see. Whether they are able to make the game we all want or not is not going to change my life, man. It's not. My life's still going to be the same. If I'm 60 years old and Madden never got there, so what? I lived to be 60 years old. I just have to say that because I know some guys are going to say, man, you did it. But it's the end of the day, it's about a game. It shouldn't be all of this personal stuff about a game. And let me say this again one last time, then we'll move on. People are still asking me why I don't conversate with certain people anymore and collab. Because those people made it about something else than just a game with me. So y'all are done. Y'all are done. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are done. We're never going to be cool. Like, no. Because you made it personal. So certain people I ain't never talking to no more. I don't need y'all. Because you're showing me who you are, what kind of character you have over a daggone video game. So that's why. There's the answer. For all of those people y'all wonder I don't talk to anymore and we're not the same, the community separate. That's why, because y'all made it about something else. I'm never going to rock with y'all. So there you go. But, man, let's get into this, man. First and foremost, Smitty, first topic on the bill here. How you currently feeling, man, about this recent patch? It was very small. And I have to give a little credit to Z Falls because I watched his video. I think if you are a competitive player or a MUT guy, the changes that were made in terms of reducing the effectiveness with some of the fake outs and stuff like that, I think it was major for them. Some of us may not have noticed it as much. If you play in a league like we do, probably so, because, you know, this is stuff a lot of us have talked about. Y'all heard me talk about it millions of times. Why is my user defender guy getting thrown into a fake out? I mean, it's different if I whiff on the tackle, but why am I getting sucked into an animation and I'm controlling the guy? So to see that some of that stuff has been taken out, I haven't actually really played the game since the patch. I played like a half. Had kind of a busy week. But Smitty, what are your thoughts on it, man? What are your thoughts on the most recent patch and just where you are with Madden right now? Like in January, how was your experience with the current state Madden 18 right now?
Well, where I'm at, like, see, with Madden right now, I'm kind of passive with it. You know, I play it, but it's more like when I get the itch, I fire it up. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see like your live stream, for example, or I'll see somebody put a video out or something, and it'll make me want to play it. Or I'll just, you know, I'm watching the NFL, and then I get in the mood. Excuse me. You know, like, but I mean, I'm gonna play some more. Like, I played a little bit. I'm like you. I played a little bit of I played a little bit of what's the name of the game? Of Madden, like since the update's been released. And I mean, I can't fully appreciate the difference yet with the jukes and all that. So I'll see how it plays out all in all, but I'm just like, I'm not, you know, like I've said before, my biggest things are, you know, more far spread than what the game actually has. Like, I want to see the zone play better. I want to see, I would have loved, to be brutally honest, I would have loved to have been playing the game that was at EA Play right now. Oh, if it was like that, I'd still be rocking strong right now. I would be, you know, and that's how I was feeling. But that's the kind of game that I need to see back, you know, and I need to see, you know, I'm just playing the game to feel it out for as far as like what can I see done for the next game. Playing franchise mode is like going through the motions. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let me play this game, then play the next game, then play the next game. And that's it. Oh yeah, let me do this off season. Let me draft these players, see how it goes, and that's it. The player differentials, you know, we need to see player differentials. Like in FIFA, you see player differentials happen in that game. You see them in NHL. You even see them, to an extent, you see them in live, but I would definitely say NHL and FIFA. We need to see the game to step up tenfold, okay, in the gameplay area. That's the kind of stuff that's going to keep me sustained, along with the franchise mode. But like I said, franchise mode is drab, and honestly, I mean, I could play some MUT, but it's like, yeah, I play these drills, but it's, you know, like I said, it's really passe to really play it. And see, the thing is, even when I do see the fake out animations happen, it's still going to be like, well, depending upon the circumstance. But I wanted it to go back to how it was in Madden 25. Now, Sim, you know, other people didn't get to see this, but Sim will definitely recall when me, him, and AZ were at the studio, and Vic Lugo got on the sticks, and he's shown us some stuff. And the thing was, the moves that you were able to do were one-to-one only on offense. Whatever I did on defense, I could do that. So it was more of a mano-a-mano. This is my move. What you gonna bring? I mean, I remember him doing some combos, and he did like some stutter step, and then did a spin, and then juke and all. I'm like, man, we could do all that. Shoot. See what I'm saying?
Nick Lugo, baby.
Yeah, that's like, man. So that's the kind of stuff that we need to have in the game. I don't need to have the 2-man animation sequence. I don't need to have the 2-man getting juked out and all that. No. I don't need that. I don't need that. Only do that stuff if you have animations to account for as many variables as possible.
Yes.
That's the only way you could do that. And make sure it works where I don't feel like I'm losing control over what I'm doing. There's no way. Like what Sim had.
You remember? Y'all remember that message?
Yeah.
Remember what Rex said in his stream? Hint. Did y'all hear him when he said something about user control? Yeah. But y'all probably didn't even watch that though, even after I gave you the link. But go ahead, Smith.
But what Sim said in his stream the other night, his wide receiver clearly was past the defender, that cornerback of safety.
Oh God!
And they pull him into a sequence that it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Why would you do that? He had the position. See, that's just like when I played. I had Kenny Golladay, 6'4" wide receiver. He towers over the defender. They put me into an animation sequence where he topples over the back of the defender. It's like, no, I beat him. My receiver had position. Why is he doing the 2-man? And like I said, at times there are 2-man sequences that make perfect sense with what's going on in the game. Or you know, where the players are relative to where the ball is thrown to. And perfect. Cool. I like it. Whether it's a catch or a pass breakup. Okay. But at the same time, though, I'm being robbed because I want to have control over what I'm doing. I don't want it to be an absolute win or absolute loss when I got the defender beat. Like, no. If I'm pressing up on the analog stick and my wideout has the defender beat, I want that ball to go to where he can get it or no one's getting it. I don't want that ball to go to where the defender is all of a sudden able to get there, or they're going to motion shift him into a sequence and then the defender comes away with it or breaks it up. I don't want it like that. It shouldn't be like that. No, go away from that. Go back to going away from that. Sim made the point. I think you made the point in one of your videos. Your guy goes for the tackle, right? They're in the animation. 2 guys involved. Dude breaks free from it, and all of a sudden, now he wants to run up. You know, after your teammate's been walking around chilling, just walking around, ain't doing nothing. It's like, oh, man. Oh, let me get over there now. Madden 13, them dudes kept pursuing until you were all the way down. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if you was laying on top of a defender. They still running after you and tackling and all that stuff until your body lays on the deck. NCAA 14, the same thing. If your player isn't down yet, they're running and gunning. And they're gonna make sure you're down. See what I'm saying? You know, and I'll just say this one little bit real quick, and I'll throw it back to you. My big thing is this, and this is more of a franchise thing. I want to see the players. I want to see player contact, especially from the organic sense. I need to see it matter.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is this. If I have a wide receiver that ends up getting hit 2-3 different ways, right? He makes the reception. He gets hit or whatever. He goes to the animation, but then you got another defender hit him. Boom. Another defender hit him in the back. Bow. We need to see gradual wear and tear. If players get injured based off of those hits, i.e., FIFA, if they go by the location,
by the way, I'm about to be on that for a while.
If they show you where they get hit, okay, then therefore what ends up happening is when you got your big decisions, now big decisions actually matter. It's not Captain Obvious decision. Play this guy, his ratings can go down. Play this guy, his rating can go up. Okay, because the players don't feel that much different. So it's like, hey, let me go ahead and put them in there. You get the player individuality. You make those players feel different. You organically evolve player wear and tear. Guess what? Oh, man, my quarterback, let's say quarterback got a back injury or whatever, right? But he going to play anyway. I better make sure his blind side is covered. And they're going to be sending the heat because that's the side, that's what their best defender is on the line, right? They're going to send the heat. Now the stakes are raised. I got concerns. I got fears. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I can organically take a shot in the wrong spot and then boom, dang. He got hit in the back. Shoot. All right. Is he okay? Oh, man, I don't know. Yeah. Do I want to put him back in?
Sorry, Stack. I ain't mean nothing by that.
But you see what I'm saying? It has to matter. And I'm not just saying on the offense. I mean defensive too. Defender dives in, right? You do a juke move or something. You evade them. They end up bashing each other. Somebody comes away with an injury. Defensively. Messed up over his own teammate. Dang, that's jacked up. FIFA has it. You trip a guy up. If you go at him aggressively, you'll see my man do a somersault. Or you'll see him go down hard based off of the kind of contact. You see players get tangled up in their legs and stuff. Go down and everything, man. I went for a header before. I've said on this show, occasionally. I went for a header. Hit dude's head. My man hit his head on old boy's shoulder. Goes out for a concussion. Like that's the kind of stuff that FIFA started to build at one point and kept building it and building it and building it. That's the stuff that we got to have in Madden. It happens in their regular straight-up gameplay. Just play now, they do it. Let alone when you play it in franchise. Now the stakes are raised even more because what if the next guy that's behind him, he sucks? Now, oh, man, I got to change my whole game plan now. I can't attack the same way. I lost Messi. You see what I'm saying? Like, I lost Ronaldo. Oh, dang, that's a huge piece. What am I going to do now? See what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff.
We don't have that kind of roster management in Madden, man.
No.
Not to the fullest degree. Ironically, guess who has it, though? Mutt has it even better than us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
just stirring the pot a little bit.
That's what I'm just saying. I mean, and like I said before, Sim, and I'll throw it to you, man. All that stuff I see in Mutt. Whenever I see them do that stuff in Mutt, I automatically say, okay, that means I feel like this. Okay, that means that's going to be in franchise somewhere.
It's in the game.
So they put it in there. So I'm like, okay, all those abilities and traits that they got on them cards, all right, I'm expecting to see how they're going to work that out and put that into franchise. Except it may not work like franchise, but I want to see chemistry between the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Off of practice or whatever. This is how the offensive line is gelling. We got to have the coaching staffs, man. We got to have our offensive and defensive coordinators take from what was done in NCAA football. 14, where you having your coordinators and they have their abilities and their skill sets and their skill trees and stuff like that, and how it impacts the players on the field. That's why you hear MYK and other players that play NCAA a lot. Like, I haven't played that game in a minute, but they talk about how that game feels different. Like, you play certain teams, they feel different because the coaches have impact. And that's the kind of Madden coaches have zero impact. None. It don't matter. What's this trainer going to do? Nothing. What's the scout going to do? Jack. It doesn't mean anything. That stuff needs to matter. I got a player on the mend. I got a trainer that's a D+ with conditioning. Dang, it sucks if one of my guys go down. You don't know why? Because if I could set everything up to train him the right way, it's going to take him forever to come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of, and I'm referencing stuff that's along the lines of 2K5 essentially, because you could possibly overtrain, over rehab your guy and put him out longer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on. It's the same. This is the stuff. And even Madden 08 had that too. They had that kind of element with the training. If you didn't do well in drills, you could end up putting your guy backwards. If you did good in the drills, even though they were injured, that will help them accelerate their healing and stuff like that, or help them get a better rating in terms of getting prepped for next games and everything. That's the stuff that we got to have in the game. We got to make the game matter. Bottom line. So, but yeah, go ahead, Sim, man. That's all I just want to say.
Nah, man, I'm gonna just say a couple things, and then we won't get Stack in here because we see Stack is on the call. Couple things real quick. Dez wants to come on. We're gonna bring Dez in at the later part of the show because I know some feedback in the past. You guys don't always like when the Relly and Smitty show I think was great, but some people didn't like it because they didn't want to hear banter back and forth, blah blah blah. And I know that ain't gonna happen with Dez and Smitty.
Oh.
No. But
I ain't wasting my time with all that now.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Smitty's a grown man, Dez is a grown man. Not saying Relly isn't. I'm just saying it ain't gonna be that. We'll just wait till the end part. For those of you who come into the, watch the archive, we'll wait until the end to do that. But we're definitely gonna get Stack on here. And I wanted to say a couple quick things before Stack goes. Let's kill the notion of EA just can't do it. I promise you they can. So I'm gonna leave it at that. They can do it. But they got to be given the luxury to do it. Decision makers got to say, go ahead, you can work on that. And it's as simple as that. But I don't want to hear nobody say anymore that Madden can't do it. Think about all the stuff that the old Maddens had before 2K. They can do it. Trust me. I've talked to engineers. It's a lot that they could do that would really blow your mind. They just got to be given the ability to do it. They got to be allowed to do it. It's just that simple. So let's kill that notion. Also, we say we want sim football, and you guys who are Steelers fans or anybody who just like to watch football, and maybe you're a Browns fan, y'all ready to see what happened in that game? When our backup center went out the game, and then our third center comes in the game, and it was literally 4 to 5 missed snaps to Landry Jones. I would love that. But I can promise you a whole lot of y'all wouldn't like that. I would love a game like that. So I always want to throw that out there because the more and more, when the game really gets to the sim level, I'm talking about box coverages and all of that and real match. Some people are going to lose their mind because they don't know football. I'm waiting for that day. And then the third thing, I got to introduce Stack this way. How about Alabama, man? Roll Tide. How about Nick Saban? And listen, I'm a Florida State fan, but I'm going to tell you right now, Stack, I have to applaud Nick Saban. You know what that man did? That was a coach that night, whether y'all like him or not. He took his starting quarterback up out the game that isn't as good at passing, put this rookie kid in the game, and changed the whole complexion of the game and won the title. That kind of stuff right there, we can't do in Madden currently. And that's what we're talking about differentiating with player skills. We need to get off of that overall stuff. And if I have a kid like Tua, I'm not going to, try to say his last name, Stack, because I'm going to mess that all up. If I have a kid like that, that's a different animal. I can bring him in to pat. Great coaching by Nick Saban. But go ahead, Stack, man. Welcome to the show, man. What you got for us tonight? Make sure you unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. I want to say a big roll tide to all my Alabama fans.
Oh, man.
I about had a heart attack and 3 aneurysms.
That was a good one there, buddy. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Alabama. Man, I enjoyed that game.
I respect Georgia. I respect the SEC. I respect football in general, but the way we played against Clemson, and then I'm just looking at Tua, and I'm like, we gotta do something, coach, and the guts enough to bring the kid in and let him play. That was awesome.
Fantastic coaching.
He took that sack and was 2nd and 26 in overtime and still threw a bomb and hit that dude on stride. I'm like, that might be a future NFL star. I'm not saying he will be, but that
was a little bit of what
that was a play.
Was that some
that
Madden
was a play
though? What Stack? You think that was a little bit of Madden safety play? How the safety got hung in the middle of the field?
But he looked that safety off with his eyes.
Looked
though. He
him
did
off.
some good stuff. I mean, I do gotta say Tua did some good stuff.
Yeah, he did.
And or even get into the Madden and the whole EA thing. Man, just to watch the national championship and then get to go to SmackDown live with my brother. We had like row 4 seats, man, up on the lower level in the chairs. And just all the stuff that's happened this week. It's just been a really awesome week, and it's sad that my Cowboys can't be doing better, man. That hurts as a Cowboys fan, NFL guy, because I'll always tell people I love the NFL way more than college, but I love my family, so I'll always be a part of that. But man, it's really tough. I look at EA than I have in the last couple of years, and I'll say that to say this. EA is struggling right now, and it's not just with Madden. It's all around the spectrum. You had this Star Wars crap where they're losing $6.1 billion and maybe more. They're having lawsuits. They're having the government looking on them. This whole microtransaction thing and children playing the game. It's really started to change the spectrum of gaming as far as the community and the culture. It's downright turned our community as gamers into what governments want to call transaction stuff. They want to go so far as to saying that what we play as video games is gambling. And I'm not going to go so far to say that. It's your choice whether you do your money like that, spend your money like that. It's your choice if you want to go gamble your money away at a casino. But there's got to be somewhere, there's got to earning your money for your game and satisfying the culture of the gamer. Not only that, but your community as well. The sim gamer has been jaded in so many ways, and I'll say that this way. We can't come together like the Star Wars community because we're so much inner fighting. And that's the thing that pisses me off the most is there's no way we could ever be the Star Wars community because we don't know how to come together as one solid voice. Sim gamer, that's the casual gamer that plays Madden. That's the tourney gamer that plays Madden. Too busy fighting with each other in our own sim community, and the tourney guys and everybody else, we can't even have a single voice to even get what we want half the freaking time. The tournament guys get what they want because they're playing for money, plus they're paying for mud. Are so crazy that we can't figure that out yet. It makes me sick to my stomach to look at this game and go, look where we come from in 2012 or 2011. And then we go right backwards 20 steps. And it's pathetic. People got mad because and they just wanted to swing the ball 50 yards down the field and hit bombs all day. Then they put the SWAT mechanic in, and it was ending up picking the ball off more than it was swatting the ball off. We have literally gutted this game from the underneath with all the patches and tunes. And people can call it nerfing or whatever they want, but it's not Rex that's in control of all this. It's the people above his head. A million times Rex is an employee at the end of the day. He has to do what he has to do to make his bosses happy. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Y'all not paying Rex's paycheck. I'm sorry. You're not feeding his family. You're not putting a roof over their head. And all you people that come out here, especially these people that talks about Rex, I hope your child gets cancer, or I hope you have a car wreck, or the stupid stuff that I hear on Twitter, which I haven't forever. I'll just go on every once in a while, maybe to say something to NYK or Smitty or Sim or VF or somebody that I'm cool with. But as far as getting in these conversations with, well, if it was 2K owning it, they would be doing better. Well, really, they're not because NBA 2K plays like crap half the time too. Let's talk about that. I mean, come on. I had literally saw somebody, I can't even remember who it was. I think it was Prime. He put out something about it. Well, if 2K had it, they're on the road, Crossroads. If they went fully sim, the community will understand. Are you crazy? Those dudes are playing in those, what is it, the AMP tournaments or whatever it is. They wouldn't understand if they couldn't do all that bullcrap gibbering and breaking ankles every single time they run down the floor and having 7'3" people shooting like freaking Steph Curry out there. They wouldn't understand that. They'd be pissed off as the world. So don't tell me that, oh, they're between a crossroads between simulation and the community would love it. The heck they wouldn't. Half the people would lose their mind. And the other half would dump your game. and here's another thing that really makes me sick. Let me look back at last year. What was it, 17? So 3.8 million copies. Somebody told me, well, they shipped 7 million. That doesn't mean they sold 7 million. You can ship 50 trillion, but it don't mean you're selling that many. And at the end of the day, Madden still sold 5.8 million. How do I know that? Because I looked this crap up. Madden outsold 2K and still gets told it's trash. We get 43 days of greatness in 2017 and they rip it out from under us. Why? Because the community, that's tourney guys that can't figure out how to stop a stretch play by getting in the 4-6 or the 4-3, tackles crashing outside, automatically start screaming that the game needs to be fixed. But here's something, I don't have nothing against Relly, but here's a problem that I have with Relly when he talks about that they're using football logic. Here's the problem with that. You can use football logic all day long, but football logic isn't when you sit there and make 500 hot routes at the freaking beginning of the daggum offensive play. I'm sorry. Doesn't work.
I gotta defend one thing real quick with that though. And
you can defend it, but the most part is
no, but
it leaks over into the CFM community.
Yeah, but hear me out though, because this is one thing.
Another thing.
Hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
This is one thing that made me change my mind on that. When I first met Farrells and Gibbs, I tell this story all the time. They couldn't have said something more true that I had to agree with. They said, "Listen, I shouldn't be able to do that. You can't be mad at how I play the game if it's allowing me to do that." And they're right. That stuff shouldn't be in the game.
That's not the issue. That's not my issue. Here's my issue. It leaks over in the CFM play. Okay, here's my other issue. Rex told us we was going to split between the tourney guys, which was competitive. Only way you can play sim mode is to play CFM. We can't do that. We can't even go on and play a sim mode online. We used to have fair play. That's the closest we've ever had sim.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't defend that. The fact of the matter is these ebooks have totally destroyed the game. And the fact that you can run 5 plays up and down the field and the playbooks ain't been fixed in years, I'm sorry. I can't defend that. And I love Rex. I love Clem. I love AD.
But that's two different issues, though. To me, that's separate from what you were saying about Relly. I guess the only part I'm saying is the tourney guys. I can't be mad at them when they're allowed to do stuff in the game. The game shouldn't allow them to do that. That's how I see it. So however they play is how they play. And like you said, there's people who come into CFMs and do it, but the game should not be allowed to do it. Exactly.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. So you're right on with me. If you play in a simulation mode and we have a true simulation mode, that should cut that stuff out.
Yeah.
Automatically. We should be separated. I'm not going against Relly, but if that's what they want to do, fine. But it should never leak over to our format. Period. And for hardcore simulation guys, it really gets old to watch CFM just not ever get love. We look at it and we look at the draft boards and it's not good. We go through and it's like said this. You get tired of just like, man, I'm my league game this week, and I'm only doing it because of AZ and
that's it.
Those guys in the league. There's nothing to keep us invested. There's nothing to keep us involved. And at the end of the day, I don't know where we go. Because used to, Madden sold 10 million copies in EA. Now it's FIFA. And how does Madden or football come back from that when we're living in North America and that should be our game, our bread and butter? And it makes me sick to watch it drop off. And it's been past 10 years. And at the end of the day, yay. But 2K had their chance. They can still go out and buy the license. It's been proven. People have literally written up articles about it in Game Informers and daggone online shows talks about 2K can buy the license. Anybody can get the license. Put the 50 million up. You have to. That is the bottom line starting point, as far as I know, what the NFL set it for. Now, has it changed? Maybe, because we don't know all the contracts and all the stuff that's talked about. But apparently right now, nobody's willing to take that chance. And until somebody does, it's not going to change, because the people above Rex isn't going to allow it to change. Unless that 6.1 billion, 20 billion, or FIFA starts falling down. Outside of that, I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, if y'all want to cut me off, that's fine, and I'll let y'all take the show over, man.
Well, man, like always, we appreciate the call. I definitely love other points of view, and we definitely appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. I'm gonna let Smitty respond to it here in just a moment. The only thing I would say is it really comes to this, man. Like, Crossroads is a good word, because it's a crossroads it's a crossroad even with what people want out of Madden. And what I mean by that, Smitty, and I know you're gonna say the same thing for the most part. We talk about this all the time. Smitty and I and Azure, we always say gameplay and franchise go hand in hand. It's got to be like this. I don't want to even hear them in the office say, we working on franchise. We working on no. It's supposed to be interlocked. You do in gameplay would have to be represented in franchise, and vice versa. Any changes you do to franchise, how the depth and all of that, even as much as you hear me say, yeah, it's getting boring and all that, but I still know that even if franchise was, if Madden 18 was head coach 09 right now, y'all would still see me in streams like, man, why are they sucking my guy into this?
Yeah.
Why am I not getting enough pressure in the trenches? Where's the fight? What's up with the player movement? What's up with, you see what I'm saying? Now, we would tolerate it more, because here's the quote unquote Smitty. Everybody always says that about 2K, where the game, it's so deep, I can overlook. No, I don't want to overlook nothing.
Right.
I don't want to. That's me. I don't want to overlook nothing in 2K or Madden, even though 2K is great. I don't want to overlook problems. I get tired of getting pulled in animation sequences and selective ball tangibility and ridiculous passing. I get tired of that. And I get tired of the stuff y'all know we all tired of in Madden. So the crossroad is, as much as I hear people pound the table for franchise, we got to stop with the one or the other. It has to be a together thing, all in together. If we could get that progressive fatigue, my next question is, how y'all gonna represent that on the field? If we get the wear and tear, like me and Smitty know, y'all know we want it. How are we gonna represent that on the field? I even told them, and Smitty was actually there, I believe, this time, when I was like, yo, y'all know what y'all really need to do once y'all get everything up to date, because people like equipment too. Can't forget those people. When y'all get the game to that level, now I need to see a bigger shoe, because the guy has an ankle injury. So now let me put on this one clip, and let me see the brace on the arm and all that kind of stuff. It's all interconnected, man. From top to bottom, from presentation, franchise to gameplay. And I'm sure that's what Smitty was trying to say when the tweets came out. Again, I didn't see him, you know, and Des will be on here a little later, but I'm sure I ain't even got to say sure. That's always Smitty's sentiment.
Yeah.
So
that's literally it. Yeah, but yeah.
That's just where we are with it. I mean,
yeah.
I agree everything what Stack was saying as well, but we are tired of getting the one or the other. I hate that. Because think about this, even when we were happy with Madden 16 in the beginning and Madden 17 in the beginning, then we always like, man, but franchise got to match it, and it didn't.
Yes.
So, got to be one and the same, man. But what you got, Smitty?
Yeah, no, I'll just say that, you know, to that point, Madden 17, I went down for an event. I don't know if you was there, Sim. I don't think you were, but you know, I'm there with franchise guys. I'm there with, you know, shout out to Shop, shout out to Mark. You know what I'm saying? Rollins. You know what I'm saying? And it just like when we saw what was going on, dudes was upset. They're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, all right, man. Well, what y'all do? You know what I'm saying? He's like, dog, we said what need to be like. So just let y'all know, like, we're adamant about this stuff in there. So that's why we play the game, and it's like gameplay's cool. But this franchise, though, man, y'all ain't doing more than. Is there like automatically think in my mind, what y'all gonna be? What can you guys add? What can you guys add on before the game comes out? What can possibly be done? Because come on, like I know it's too late in the game to be like they can completely flip it on its head, but what can y'all do? That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. You know, that we need to see happen with the game. We need to see the gameplay complement. They got to complement each other. When we talk about Madden on PS2, we didn't even give it a second thought because we knew the gameplay was going to complement what they did with franchise. It was going to complement it. The gameplay was mechanically sound for them to bring in whatever they brought in on PS2. That it was going to work. We loved NCAA football on PS2. That's why when we look, get your draft class, right? I love this. I love Madden 07. Because look, all those years, you played the Senior Bowl, right? You played the Senior Bowl, and that was it. Dang, I can't see any of these other college players, though. But I played with my school. Oh, guess what? Madden 07 on PS2, you get to play the Senior Bowl. You got that NCAA file, that draft class. You playing with them, man. You can play with Dynasty. Yeah, like it was there.
Coaching carousel.
See, this is this is the stuff. And once again, the gameplay complemented it.
Yep.
That's it. If the gameplay didn't complement it, we wouldn't have had as much fun. And like what Sim said, we would have tolerated it longer, but eventually we were like, man, I'm good. I don't even want to play this game anymore. Because the shortcomings. And that's the whole point. That's what we're saying with this game here. That what's the point of me getting a safety? And this is a point I made off of somebody who posted a video on Twitter. He had a safety. The ball literally, quarterback throwing the ball. The ball literally was in his, it was coming straight toward him. That safety moved out of the way to let the wide receiver come down with it and run it in for 6. He moved out of the way. Madden, I said, I don't care what his awareness level is. At a base level, he is a NFL caliber safety. He should be able to make that play because he saw it. It came his direction. He should be able to make the play. Reason why I say that is because in the NFL, you have players that rise up out of nowhere and become legit players. How can you do that if the players that don't have that high of a rating aren't legitimately serviceable. See, that's the issue with Madden right now. You can look, Richard Sherman, I forgot what his rating. When Richard Sherman first was brought into Madden, I think he was like a 56 overall or a 65 or something like that. He was very low rated. How the heck you think he come up? You see what I'm saying? I should be able to do the same thing. I could put him out there, put him, even if I put him in a package, 1 or 2 packages, or one or certain sets, and I put him out there. He should, at a base level, be able to make plays. I didn't say he has to be great. He should be able to make plays. I could do it with FIFA. I could take that young 18-year-old player that says, hey, I want to get some playing time. Dude's rated like a 56 overall. I could shoot with him. I could fake out defenders with him. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can still perform with the player. He doesn't have the top-notch skills, but I can still use him adequately, and he can serviceably get the job done that I need him to perform for. We need that to be happening in Madden, i.e., it needs to happen in franchise mode. Because look, Detroit Lions, Anthony Zettel ain't no beast of a defensive end, but you saw him make some plays, you'd be like, dang, whoa, how do you make that kind of play? Well, he saw it, he reacted to it, made the play. That line of sight, just like what Stack just brought up the point. The quarterback looked off the defender, looked off that safety over top, and he threw it to the end zone. You know something that they got in NBA 2K? They actually look. If they see LeBron James, if LeBron James is on the floor, they shown it when they broke down a system. They all looking at LeBron. You got 3-4 players looking at LeBron. They making sure they pay attention. All right, what's LeBron doing over there? What's he doing over there? Do I got to come cross court? It's like you'll see them some semi-position themselves just in case LeBron make a move. That's the kind of stuff we need to see that in Madden. It doesn't need to be placebo. It needs to actually have valuable weight to their vision. And seeing that kind of stuff, awareness, play recognition, running back vision, hello, all these rating criteria, it needs to show up. We need to see that. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. I would love to see
it in live too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
and see, look, I'll say this real quick. I know we had the whole paradigm about adaptive AI and all that stuff. Listen, if Madden had an ACE system, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need to have an adaptive AI. Look, 2K with all of its issues, yeah, it's got gameplay issues, all that good stuff. But I was playing the Golden State Warriors. I had the Pistons. I got not Kevin Durant, excuse me. I got Steph Curry in foul trouble. They switched their lineup and they put the size mismatches on me on purpose. They put Kevin Durant at the point guard. I got Ish Smith and Reggie Jackson. Them boys ain't even, one dude's 6 foot, the other dude's 6'3". They put him at the one. What's his name at the 2? Livingston at the 2. Iggy, they had Iggy. They went small. They put Iggy at the 4. And then they had Zaza at the 5. Or they would put JaVale out there. I'm like, these dudes are switching it up on me on purpose to go to the way they're playing me is unique to the kind of team that I have on the floor.
That's what you want, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and yeah, DJ, you're right. It is adaptive AI, but it's it's not in the context that people have been talking about it far and wide. Yeah. It's like run X amount of plays. Now they're going to run the exact same play and all that. Like, no, like
that's the fake one. I'm
talking about
Madden. Yeah. Y'all have done that, Madden. I got to pick with y'all. Yeah, that's the fake one. Because if I run the same play 6 times, it shouldn't just be a loss automatically.
Yep. And it's how they choose to play you. It's like, what if they use different personnel? What if they switch up how they, what if they use certain line adjustments to attack you and things like that? Like they switch up certain things on the field in terms of how they're going to play you. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about there, like both on the offense and defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting at, is like in that essence. Because now we're not talking about necessarily play call adjustments. It's also, you got to switch up personnel. Oh, dang, this is how they're going to play me? Okay, this is what I'm going to have to try and do now. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. Taking us out of that comfort zone that we're all accustomed to, and then making us have to really think and be conscious of who we got on our squads and how we're using them in these packages and stuff. Yeah. That's the frontier that I'm talking about. Make everything matter. And of course, elaborate and expand franchise and stuff, but that's what we need to do. That's what not what we need to do. That's what needs to happen in Madden. Like, all those things should matter. And like you said there, big point right there. Big receivers versus small corners should matter. It doesn't. If I have a wide receiver and I decide he does a curl route and he boxes out, guess what? That big body just boxes him out. Not no sequence, not no shift. He's boxed out, i.e. happens in FIFA, happens in NHL. Excuse me. Need that in Madden. Flat out. So I'll throw it back to you though, Sim.
Gotta have it, man. And we're gonna get Dez on here in a minute, man, to help close out the show. But you gotta have that. Again, I know the Steelers more than any other team, so I can use these examples. Why is it that Big Ben and Antonio Brown are so successful? Yeah, he gets open, but it's the chemistry.
Yeah.
That AB, he knows when to sit in his zone, break off the route. That's what Smitty is talking about. When you always hear me saying, we need adaptive AI on both sides of the ball. A receiver that can use his body. Look at Juju Smith-Schuster. How he puts himself in. Commentators even say, look how he high points it and puts himself in between the ball and the. This stuff don't make no difference in Madden. We just talk about football stuff here. Because I get excited sometimes because people, as much as y'all might not believe this, people still get on me and Smitty for being, if you want real football, blow one up and go play outside. Like, dude, this is normal stuff that should be a part of replicating football, because what did Smitty just say? 2K pulls these things off well, even with their problems. FIFA pulls off soccer relatively well. I don't know soccer, so I'll be fair.
Right.
But they pull off. I can recognize a situation when this guy's closer to the ball and he's bigger than the other guy and he's bodying him up. I can recognize that. This is the stuff we're talking about. Madden should be able to pull it off. It's right there. And want to lead into this real quick, Smitty, then we'll bring on Dez to close us out.
All right.
It's obvious, guys, we're not going to get to all of the topics, but this is the kind of show I like. I like when it's sporadic. Most of the time, just to give you all a heads up, if you're new to the show, we throw topics out there, but if we don't hit them, we don't hit them. We like the interaction, the live, whatever happens on the fly, boom, nothing scripted. But this topic, and I'm going to be brief with it, Madden 19 expectations. And I'm going to tell you guys how I'm approaching it. My expectations is a little off than probably most people, because I'm at this point, being down at EA so much, being connected with the devs, engineers, understanding what's going on from a business standpoint, blah, blah, blah. My approach is different in how I even view expectations. Let me give you another example. I'm expecting to see more things matter. I know that covers a lot. What I mean is, let me give you a perfect example. I listen often to the Terrible Podcast. Let me give them a plug. Dave and Dave, SteelersDepot.com. Shout outs to those guys who really kind of inspired me to do my Terrible Towel on Tuesday. Listening to those guys, I said, you know what? I should do something like that myself. But anyway, And one of the guys said, you know the reason why Mike Mitchell plays so far off the ball? It's because he is unable to be rangy. He doesn't have the speed. So he plays, and if you notice, if Steelers fans, Mike Mitchell a lot of times 15, 20 yards off the ball, off the line. But he's compensating for allowing more stuff to stay in front of him, and he still gets beat over, which is crazy. We can't actually see that replicated in Madden. I want to see, are they able to pull off stuff like that and make it believable? Not just with a 91 threshold. Because I'm going to tell you what, a Deion Sanders in the secondary still should react a little differently than a Rod Woodson. You notice I'm using, elite guys here. They both elite. But Deion just has something else. I mean, I don't know what you call that, what Deion had, with the way he used to play. I don't know what you call that. In Madden, if a guy is 91 and Deion is 99, they got the same reaction. That shouldn't be, that should not be the case. And this is what I've been told, because I haven't gotten any 91 players yet. I'm still trying in CFL. But that shouldn't be like that. Also, like Smitty said, if a guy, and I've seen kids say this several times, if you have made it to the NFL, even if you are bum, and I hate to call professional athletes bum because I'm sitting in this chair. I'm not getting ready to play Sunday. I ain't never make it to the NFL. But there's obviously some guys who are not as good as others. But if you made it, even the worst guy will have his day. That guy should still be able to recognize something coming to him. Prime example again, I'm going to use my Steelers. Cody Sensabaugh, not the best corner in the world, but when we played the Titans, he got a pick off. And you know what he told Mariota after the game? He said, I didn't think you was going to throw it to me because you looked right at me. This is what I'm saying. He was watching the quarterback and knew where the ball was going. In Madden, if your guy has a zone rating of 80 or God forbid 75, he's just going to stand there like this, watching the quarterback. See, that kind of stuff cannot happen. And that goes back to what Smitty just said. A system, awareness, adaptive AI, situational AI, what we call it sometimes. Can we get this kind of stuff happening in the game? And if the guy gets beat, he gets beat. Everybody gets beat. But can I at least go back and see what happened? Oh, he made the wrong mistake. Like Kia said as well in the Alabama game. We all saw, we both tweeted the same thing after the game, like, why was that safety so far on the hatch? Like, what was he doing? What was he thinking? He had a lapse. But you saw it. When you saw the replay, didn't you see him react late? Then he knew he was toast. This is what I'm saying. Make me believe it. That's my slogan for Madden 19. Make me believe it. Those are my expectations. Because I don't know what to expect, Smitty. We know the stuff that they want to work on, whether it's coverage and, the player, like all of this stuff, likeness. We know all of this stuff that we've talked about. I don't know if that's coming in 19, but we're getting very close to the time when y'all know me and Smitty should probably know a little something. We can't share it with y'all, but it's around this time where we're going to start finding out what's really happening for 19. I don't know yet. All I'm saying is whatever you're doing, please make us believe it. Whatever you're doing, make the game replicate football to the best of its ability for that current year and continue to progress. We cannot have some of this same stuff because we were doing good for a while until Frostbite hit us. And Smitty and I kind of expected it. We were still disappointed, but we was like, okay, this is what we were afraid of. Now, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Let's get back on that progression train. We need to have it, man. So as I bring Dez in, I'm going to send him his invite, Smitty. What are your thoughts lightly on that, man? I mean, do you kind of see it the same way? Like, it's hard for us. We know our expectations. They're the same every time, but we kind of know more of the background of stuff now.
Yeah. It's like the enthusiasm is incurred, or, the expectation is incurred. But like I said, because we have because we understand the process. We understand the procedure of things. It's like, okay, we have the expectation and we want the game to be through the roof great with whatever it is they're able to do. That's the key thing. Whatever it is you're able to do, just hopefully just do great with that. But ultimately, my thing is this. However far they're able to go, especially from franchise, because this community right now, this community is banking on franchise. That's it. On franchise refinement. Whatever it is they do, how much they're able to cover, the gameplay must match it. Mm-hmm. That's my bottom line. But I want and need to see the gameplay fixes. I need to see the zone play. I need to see the player movement. I need to see like the things Sim talks about, the things that we've seen across the board from other people as well. We need to see all that happen in the game. That's bottom line, man. We gotta have that. Or at least give us the, like I said, if you can't necessarily get it all the way there, get it to a point where it's legitimately feasible until you could get it there. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm just looking to see what these guys bring, man. I'm looking forward to what they do, listening to what these devs had to say. I mean, not devs, but really listening to Rex and what he said, interviews from yours to post-launch, and listening to him on his Twitch streams and everything. So, I'm really looking forward to what these guys are able to do, especially with this being the second year on Frostbite and now being able to implement other technologies from other games. So I'm really curious as to what if, because you never know, okay? But what they are able to bring in to the game, I really am looking forward to what kind of impact it'll make, whatever it is they do from whatever game or games. Who knows? So we'll see. So
yeah, man,
definitely anticipate.
They got to show improve, man. It's just that simple.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So let me bring Dez on here first. Dez, before you and Smitty, hash out you guys things. I gotta ask you a question, Dez, man. Can you please ask somebody on the Ravens organization why couldn't y'all get in the playoffs? Because let me tell you something. One thing I was counting on was the Ravens going to Foxborough, beating the Patriots, because for whatever reason, the Ravens seem to play the Patriots pretty well. And then, maybe we would have got another rubber match, and maybe the Steelers get the edge at home. I don't know, because that was a great game against the Ravens, 39-38. I never saw that coming. But I needed y'all to get in the playoffs, man. And please tell me what, man? What happened in that last game? All you had to do was win. That's it. What y'all thinking?
That's who they've been since Ray and Ed Reed left. But at the end of the day, people just don't understand one thing when they talk about the Ravens, Joe. When Ray Rice punched his one in the elevator, and Dennis Pitta had a freak accident with the head of bow in OTAs. A devastating impact on the entire franchise. Yeah. You're talking about you lost, just in Ray Rice alone, you lost 2,000 yards. You lost Le'Veon, essentially.
Pretty much.
You lost, 7 red zone touchdowns a year. And I'm not even talking about Anquan, Torrey Smith, anybody else, but just specifically losing 27. Even if they lost Dennis Pitta, we were deep at tight end. But they lost Ray Rice, and not only did we lose Ray Rice, that was a $20 million cap hit. just for cutting them off double nonsense in the first place because they put them out there. And that's a whole separate conversation, which brings me into I'm about done with the Ravens, man. Like I'm about done with the NFL, man. Like uh and I'm gonna quote Kanye before I speak any other word tonight, and I ain't even gonna act holier than that because uh a significant portion of my life revolves around football. And I haven't put a helmet on in this is the 10th year since I haven't put a helmet on. And the Ravens put out this letter to the season ticket holders last week or the week before last, essentially saying like, we're sorry we couldn't keep our players in line and that they upset you when they near an anthem. So we know that the attendance was low. Really hope you guys come back because we got that coverage for you guys next year. It's not going to go down. Like, come on back. And I'm sitting here like, yo, this team squandered playoff opportunities last 5 years. The last two seasons they went into week 16, 8-6, only had to win one game. If they won both games, every year guaranteed to make the playoffs. Even when we made the playoffs in 14, when we had to go sign Danny go off the street and was hurt because he tore his ACL. Other teams' practice squad starting at corner, and we was up Patriots by 14 points 2 different times in the game. One, Joe threw a pick on the last play of the game, and that was the only time we touched the playoffs since then, since the Super Bowl. And almost every game the Ravens lose, they was winning at some point. And almost every game that they win, they came back and won. And almost every time it's because it's exactly the way that Alabama started the game in the championship, though. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out punt. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, pick, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And the defense is matching stop for the first 5 possessions, and then all of a sudden, I'm gonna address the NFL a whole nother time. And here's the deal, man. At this point, I feel like example. Y'all need to, like, for folks who have a lot of content out on the internet, like, you need to remember that the people who sit here consistently and watch and listen and think about it and go about their business with these ideas to them, their ideas, because they know that these ideas come from a place with more reliable and legitimate sources. You know, every word that you speak is going to come back to you, and every minute of content that you record and broadcast is going to paint a picture and tell a story. And for people like DJ81, for people like myself, for people like Stack, of people that's consistently been the first names out of y'all mouths, of the people like, man, essentially, community could approach this like this guy, like this guy, like this guy, then maybe we'll be able to have a real conversation. But it's all of this and of this and of that and of that and the chirping. So I get home and I open my Twitter feed on my phone as I'm sitting there waiting for my wife to make my plate for me. A ridiculous back and forth of we already know what the conversation was. And I'm sitting here like, yo, to me, this is the 2-minute example. Good brother Smitty, not talking about you while you're here, talking to you on some humble, is that, you know, you have not shown well lately, in my opinion, as far as being able to talk to somebody and have an actual conversation with them. You know, we get to a point where, you know, enough examples where you can go back and look and be like, yo, like, why are you carrying the situation like this? Y'all had Rex on the show, and you sitting here going back and forth. No, I didn't. Yes, you. No, I didn't. Yes, you. Well, no, I didn't. Well, yes, you. Well, but no, I didn't though. Well, I'm sorry you feel like that way though. You keep coming back to these same like, whatever. And I get it because you have thousands of people who follow what you do. And to me, there comes a point in time where it's like, if I'm DJ81 in that interaction, which I'm not, I would hope that I will get the courtesy because of the amount of time that we've spent talking to each other and playing games with each other and interacting with each other on these mediums, that you would dead that in the tweets and replies immediately. I would be like, yo, no, it ain't even that. Like, relax. The back and forth. And my first point was, I said, you're gonna find yourself in a lonely place, determined to win arguments, to not be wrong. And as soon as I said that, you were like, that's not true. So I'm like, okay. And we start the loop. We go on the Hot Wheels track. And we're going around and around and around already. And in the midst of me, caricature-like way, literally lobbing you opportunities to not do exactly what I'm telling you you're doing, my brother. And you're doing exactly what I'm saying you're doing. And your responses to the two people who you already know got your back at the end of the day and is on your team, who give you drive-by likes on any social media platform. How many retweets do you see me give you these days when I see you approaching these people who you already know is not approaching you from an ignorant and foolish place? Tell me to go back and listen to a Rex podcast or anything. I tell you. You remember when he said that? I don't want to tell you. So to me, bro, the reason why I came to you disrespectfully was because I felt disrespected. And then even when I came into it, was just like, yo, I did not come at you on some name calling, disrespectful stuff about initial message to you, bro. Put it up right now. If you don't, I don't know. But it's the same Smitty smirk. It's the same link. It's the same. Now all of a sudden, no matter if I was available for all the tweets, if I was available for all the points that I was making or listening to what Sim had to say, now all of a sudden, as soon as the person who's saying something against me is talking, all my responsibilities, and therefore I have to turn my back to him or go on mute or turn the camera off. And again, the film will show just today that happened. For coincidence, I apologize, yo. And if I'm wrong out here, I apologize, yo. But what I'm telling you, my brother, is I get back, but I need you to really just sit back and think, man, like, you don't always have to be right, yo. Like, we already respect your opinions about Madden. We understand that you know stuff that we don't know. So if somebody's telling you, like, yo, this is what I'm trying to push, what they're saying, if this is one of your team captains of your community, at the end of the day, you understand what I'm saying?
I'm not squat. See, that's the issue in itself. No one's asking any questions. You're assuming what I'm saying. You're assuming that I'm trying to crush somebody. I'm not crushing anybody. All I'm doing is the same thing that anyone else does. All I did was just give my thoughts on something. And what DJ chose to do was come up and say blah, 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 and all that stuff. That wasn't necessary. See, that's the thing. The stuff comes at me, and then I'm the one tripping. That's why I said it's not true. Because how can you tell me what it is that how can you tell me what I mean by what I say when you didn't even bother to find out what I meant by what I said? You didn't ask me. No one asked me. DJ didn't ask me any questions. You didn't ask me any questions. You just assumed. And that's why I just sat back. That's why I sat back and played it off so cool, because I'm like, okay, well, that's how you go. That's why I asked, well, what's the problem? Because all I said was franchise and gameplay are a priority. But I'm saying that gameplay is, I feel that gameplay is going to reign supreme though. And I made that point. It's an opinion, which what somebody replied back and said, yeah, I understand your point, but it's an opinion. And I'm like, exactly. That's all I'm giving is an opinion. I didn't say my point reigns. Sit down. I didn't say that. I didn't insinuate that. I didn't do none of the above. All I did was make a statement based off of what DJ had said, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, this reaction came, and I'm like, what the heck? What is this coming from? I'm not gonna ask any questions. I'm gonna leave it up to the person that felt they had to come at me like that. So since he had to come at me, even though it's DJ, he could have asked a question. It's no different. That's why I find it's interesting you brought up Relly, because at the end of the day, with that whole discussion, it had zero to do with who's right. That's why it cracks me up with this whole right wrong thing. I don't give two flying farts about being right. I could be wrong. That's fine. I don't care about that. It's all about what's the point that you're trying to make. If that question, if I ask that question to you and say, this is the point that I'm trying to make. Now, what are you trying to make? I'm asking you a question and then you answer me. So that way I understand where you're coming from. But if I don't do that and I just assume I know where you're coming from and I just put you in a box in terms of what you're saying, oh, the thoughts can run all over the place. And that's literally what happened there. That's why I was just like, okay, well, that's what you chose to do. I don't know why, but I would have expected better from DJ. And that's why when you said what you said, it didn't make sense to me, because I'm like, dude, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not blowing up anybody's idea. I'm just giving my feelings on something. Like, this is my perspective that I've shared on this show multiple times. All I'm doing is saying the same. I'm doing the same thing. DJ talked about franchise mode being lackluster. I don't know how many times this year and other years. I'm doing is all of a sudden it's a problem when I do the same thing. Like, I'm not downplaying him. I'm just giving my thought. And then even he assumed with his tweet, I didn't say don't do anything with gameplay and just focus on franchise. When the heck did I say that? There was not a single tweet I sent yesterday that said that. But see, when you assume and you don't ask any questions, that's when you start going off that tangent of, oh, you're just trying to be right. Oh, you're just trying to overshadow. I'm not doing any of these things that you guys are saying. So I don't know what picture y'all decided to paint. But I'm sorry that y'all got my words that misconstrued. I didn't say anything. I didn't post what I posted to stir up any pot or nothing. I was just giving my thoughts. So that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, that's literally it. Like, I have zero issue with there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. Or DJ for that matter. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he says. But if anybody for that matter, if somebody posts something and I add context to it, that doesn't mean, or I bring in an additional viewpoint, that doesn't mean that your point is invalid. And it has nothing to do with saying I know more than you. It's got nothing to do with that. All I do is a lot of this stuff, I just look online and find stuff and say, hey, look what I found out about XYZ. All I did was take the time and read it. That's it. I'm not saying that, oh, yo, I'm over your head, man. I'm over this, I'm over that. It's got nothing to do with any of that. So that's what I'm saying. The stuff he talked about, the other point he made the other day was about my league. He brought up my league and said it took 2K 2 years to do that. Madden can do it in 2 years. I brought up a contrary viewpoint and said I don't think so, because 2K spent 9 years building up association mode, which is the derivative. That's the foundation of what my league is expanded off of. Madden doesn't have that. CFM came in Madden 13. What root base they got to build off of that's so good already that it's literally the exact same thing. They don't have that. It's not the same situation. So therefore, while DJ says that, I just brought up the 2K information to say, well, Madden's not in that same position. So it may not, they could spend 2 years working on the franchise, but it may not be what you want it to be as far as how robust my league is. And you may set yourself up for disappointment in that facet. See, that's the mindset. I didn't post that on Twitter, but that's my mindset. That's what I was thinking when I posted what I posted. It's got nothing to do, once again, it's got nothing to do with overshadowing somebody. It's got nothing to do with saying I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just giving context to what somebody said. That's the whole point of having a discussion with people. I should be able to make an additional point. It doesn't matter if I'm a game changer or not, or whatever the heck the status is. It doesn't matter. I found this information. I looked it up. This is what it is. It's the facts. That's reality. And it is reality because there are facets in NBA 2K, I mean, in 2K18 and 17 that were in association. So it's like, okay, yeah, there's stuff from that game that's literally built into my league, and they expanded and elaborated on it. Madden's not in the same boat, and all I was doing is giving my point. That's it. So that's what I'm saying. If dudes are stretching the game out and making it more than what it is that's being said, then so be it. I can't help that. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is just typing characters just like the next person. If you need me to expand and elaborate, then just ask questions. It's simple as that. I didn't feel the need to ask additional questions. If I didn't need to ask additional questions, I would have asked them. Simple. It ain't got to be all that. That's why when I replied to DJ, I said what I said to him was literal. He circled what I said and said, "Oh, Smitty, you got to come better than that." What the heck I got to come better with? Franchise and gameplay are priority. Gameplay is going to reign supreme because franchise mode has to be sustained by the core gameplay. When we stream these games, all of us, when we stream these games, what are we showcasing? Are we showcasing franchise menus all stream long? We're showcasing gameplay. So therefore, the gameplay in these modes is going to carry the most weight. And it has to be sustainably relative to what's being done in that franchise mode. You know what I mean? Like whatever the game is, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, whatever. That's just it. So and that's my point. That's my point, though. But that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Let me ask you a quick question on that, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Madden 13, if we say Madden 13 was their first year of franchise mode,
okay,
for this generation, for all intents and purposes, right?
Yeah.
For every Madden that's come out, this is the fifth Madden since then, the fourth or fifth Madden, right? Mm-hmm. Can we say that we have had enough progress in gameplay from Madden 13, let's not even say Madden 13, let's say Madden 25, from the time we got to these consoles, can we say that we've had enough progress? I don't even want to say enough progress. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate, like where you think we should be now from then? The understanding that they sacrificed adding to franchise mode in order to continue to focus on game. Can we say that we're satisfied with the progress that we've seen in the other areas of the game enough that we can say, okay, this was a necessary evil to get to this point gameplay wise now, enough that you shouldn't really be that mad that franchise is where it is because you see how far we've come in other ways. You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, but I would say no, it's not enough because look at where your peers are. Just in your own building. just in your own building, let alone other games, you know, other studios. Right. And off of that premise alone, it's like, no, you need to do more. But at the same time, there's a point where, like, I would say this, where this gameplay is at right now, I would have expected more to be done out of franchise at this point.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Smitty, that's the essential question, bro. That's the main sentiment. That's the main sentiment behind this whole entire conversation, I think, is yes, you're talking to the main people who have co-signed the fart out of you. The people who have co-signed the fart out of you. All right. And when you said, nah, yo, we need the gameplay to be what it is, yo, we'll suffer a couple years, but I feel like, man, we getting to this point, bro, where like, man, the gameplay either gonna be what y'all say it should be, and what we know it should be, or it's not. And if it's not gonna be that, why is franchise also not that?
No, I know. That's what we've been saying. We've been saying that for years, though. Like it's not like we just now said it.
And that to me is why I don't understand how you could tell the three people involved in that conversation that conversation the only context within that conversation would have been those two tweets. My point is that y'all, you've had too many shows, too many streams, too many videos for us to not know how you feel about the approach that the devs should take, that the company at large should take, that we shouldn't be able to make reasonable assumptions. People don't have to read on Glenn Beck to figure out how he's going to approach abortion. I don't have to watch I've watched them. You know what I'm saying? We've been here. So if I see somebody have the same conversation, like you said, that we've been having for years, then on the backside, they're going to say, nah, you didn't even ask me what I really meant by that tweet. You just assumed. I'm like, I know exactly how you feel, unless you're not a good orator that can express yourself over hundreds, if not thousands of hours of content. Since you started to be on the internet expressing your views on Madden, once you got the green light to go down to EA, my good brother, you moved into the next echelon of knowledge. Like it or not, that's where you are. So you can't hit us with, I'm just a guy just like you in an OS form. You can't have it both ways, especially when you prove why somebody's wrong and say, yo, I talk to these people all the time. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to such yesterday when we was down there back in whenever, man. I know what's gonna be in Madden 27, man. What you guys both ways, Doug. You can't wear the crown, regardless if it's gonna translate into any clout that you already know I'm not equating it to nothing superficial. I'm talking about within the conversations that we have, bro. We already understand each other. So what's understood doesn't have to be said. And if you're gonna give, just like what it was a response, and he said, don't respond to me like a random. I think that's at the heart of where it was just like, bro, this is by that or anything like that. You feel me?
I see what it is now.
As long as he doesn't respond to me like a random, we're good. It's as simple as that. If you want a respectful dialogue, you got to be. In order to have respectful dialogue, you got to stay respectful the whole time. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I talk to you every single day, 3 times a day, twice on Sunday.
Passive aggression is disrespectful, bro. Being patronizing is condescending. Yeah,
and that's
disrespectful. And that's what you did, bro.
Like that's what you did. That's what you did.
No, I came smack at you, partner. I came smack at you. I told you exactly how I felt you were acting at that moment. That's exactly what happened. And it will be that if right here, it would be that if I saw you, and it wouldn't be that from a place of disrespect. It would be that from a place of, I'm like, yo, how would you even come at dudes like just off the strength? Like, just take that offline. Man. Why is that even? How do I even know that y'all had that conversation?
Take what offline?
Again, so again, yo, all right, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all, bro. You gotta give people just enough rope to hang themselves, man. This ain't showing well, bro. This ain't showing well, man.
Hold on,
I'm gonna holler at y'all, man.
No, don't go yet, Des, because we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But I think I see what it is. You know, with not being there.
Okay, never mind.
Just hearing both sides.
What do you want to say, Doug?
I'll take the high road. Never mind, dude.
No.
And then you're gonna say you're not saying you're better than people again. So again, that's female stuff, bro. That's female stuff, bro. Okay. That's female stuff, son.
Female then.
That's how women act.
That's what women do. What you did. That's what women do. What you did then. That's what you did.
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are. This is what you're doing, Smitty. This is what you're doing. What is this, bro? What is this? Again, bro, the eye in the sky don't lie. You're not grading outright. I'm sorry, bro. You are my man 100 grand as far as the internet is concerned, bro. I would consider you one of my internet homies, bro. And I'm coming at you like I feel like a homie needs to check a homie at a time, man. And I'm saying this, you just proving my point right now, bro.
All right.
Yeah,
so you go ahead on that high road, bro. Sim, what's up, bro?
I think I see what it is, man. I understand what Dez.
When people speak feminine, when people speak feminine to you, and I don't do it, then they got a problem with it.
Smitty, hold on, man. Hold on. I understand what Dez is saying. Just to sum it up, Dez and I'm assuming from what Dez is saying, Dez and DJ probably, I think they felt like from people who have been there for the whole road, they felt like the reply was more like slighting them like they was regulars. I mean, like some randoms. Like I think that's what Dez is coming from. And with you saying that you didn't mean it that way, but engage in the back and forth, so it makes it seem like, you see what I'm saying? Because even like now,
if I need clarity on something, I ask questions. I don't know how they do it, but maybe it works. Maybe it works different. But you ain't asked nothing. That's the whole point. So that's cool. Continue.
We was doing good just 5 minutes ago. What happened?
No, people want to be comedians about it and everything. I'm like, you're the one that came with the catty behavior, and then you got a problem. Then you want to say like, I'm the one doing it. How am I doing it? When I call you out your name, tell me when. Since I'm doing it, tell me when. Pull the tweet up.
You have never called me out of my name, Smitty, and I called you out of your name yesterday, and I stand on it.
Okay, so how did I do the same thing? You just said I did the same thing. So how?
I said that you were being passive aggressive, and I said that is disrespectful. I said that when you're trying to flip it on everybody else and say that you're going to do like you just said. All right.
One key thing that Dad said though that I will agree with one key thing Dad said, which is part of the reason why I don't even be on Twitter as much. Yeah. I think what I will agree with Dez is somebody like Dez and DJ. Let's say we got into it on Twitter. I think I've known Dez long enough to be like, hey man, let's talk. Let me holler at you. Yeah, like I'm not gonna go back and forth with somebody like that only because I'm like, wait, there's got to be a disconnect somewhere.
We missing each other.
Yeah, that's. I will agree with that part. But I didn't see it. I didn't see the conversation. But I think that's what Dez
so
is.
Let's say
implying.
Something.
Yeah, I think that's what Dez is implying.
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. There is no implications outside of my exact words.
Or something like that. I don't remember my DMs being blocked from either one of you guys. If it's like that, how come you ain't say anything? Just saying.
How cold is it out there in Detroit, man? What's the weather out there, man? I know I'm about to be feeling real grateful. What y'all at right now, man?
Oh, we good.
Yeah.
I don't know what temperature it is right now. I don't have my phone. We good.
All right.
Shit, I'm about where you at, Dad. I ain't too far from you.
Nah, man. You still won't slide through too, man. But
man,
nah, man, it was on degrees today, man.
Huh?
It was almost 60 degrees.
Yeah.
It felt like daggone spring ball out here, man.
Yeah, it was like 55,
Yeah,
59
man.
up here.
Here in the tundra last week, man. But you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. With Smith, he was probably laughing at it was like -4. What? I just put my hoodie on at -35 out here in the D. It's so cold in the D. It's not that personal, bro. I don't know about you, man, but I had a lot of arguments with my homeboys in my life, and we understand each other that much more for them, bro.
Yeah, that's real.
I don't know, man.
No, that's
when
real.
I say it's all love, I promise you, I mean it.
Next time, send me a DM. Jeez, OP. Golly. Okay. It take all.
You a community leader.
Yeah.
Just like Julius Campbell said, attitude reflect leadership, Captain. All right. So you're gonna take the high road. You initiate the leadership moves. You talking about you trying to get a job at EA.
Good.
You put it out there. So that's the energy that we're gonna receive. Go ahead, step it up. It's like that. Let's go. Got you, man. So relax. You ain't all to be right.
That's the crazy part. I'm good. I'm good.
You're supposed to laugh now, bro. You're supposed to laugh now, and we're supposed to leave it alone. Back to the female shit.
Y'all crazy, man.
God damn, man.
Well, the good thing is, man,
good, bro.
At least we can talk it out, man. That's the best thing. At least y'all can talk it out.
People that never mind. All right.
Smitty, I'm gonna arm wrestle you one day, man. We're gonna have a push-up contest, man. We're gonna have a
I'm sorry. I'm just a logical person. And like if somebody comes at me with the female stuff, don't come at me with the female stuff and then say I'm the one doing it.
No, leave it, yo. Leave it, yo. Leave it, yo.
All right, guys.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm being called by the wifey here, so I think like real talk. Y'all might have heard her in the background, but
oh man,
this was good. Though. Like I said,
my brothers be safe, man.
It's all love, man. I know y'all will be talking again, but it's always good to talk it out, man. We got to do this let's reflect back to what I said about the H&M thing and read between the lines. Like it's good for us to resolve stuff like that. Talk it out. You know what I mean? But all right, man. Dez, we appreciate you, brother. DJ says he would like to come on next week. Actually, he's offering to speak on PSN. So kind of goes back to what Dez originally said. Man, if I think we all can learn from that. Because I've been guilty of this in the past. If we see that something is escalating and it's somebody that you know more than likely is rocking with you, maybe we take that off of Twitter and talk, on PSN, holler them by phone, something like that. Way better, man. Way better to do it like that. But all right, Dez, we appreciate you, brother.
Y'all be safe, man. You already know.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, man. Agree to disagree. And we all men at the end of the day. So I know Smitty's gonna feel one way, Dez is gonna feel one way, DJ is gonna feel one way. That's normal. But I think the healthy part of it is just being able to talk at some point. And some names may be called and stuff, but I think it can get to a healthy point eventually.
I just want to add a note real quick. It ain't that deep, dog. If you got an issue, especially these cats that know me enough, especially DJ, he knows me enough, send me a message and be like, yo, I'm gonna be on PSN. Let me holler at you and let's elaborate real quick. Okay, for sure. It's as simple as that. It's nothing. That's what I said. I'm not mad about anything. I'm not upset. The only way I get upset is when people do extra, like what Dez was doing. That stuff right there annoys me because you take your poor action and then you try to make it more than what it is. Like I'm the one that caused you to do it when you chose to do it yourself. That's the kind of stuff that irks me. So, but that's all I wanted to say is that.
Well, guys, I have to run before I get put
Go ahead, bro.
in the doghouse, man. So, good show. Hopefully next week, we'll maybe do a rehash of what actually happened after this. DJ and Smitty, I'm assuming we'll be talking very soon on PSN. And maybe Dez will join in and hey, if I'm around, I could join in too. Why not? So All right, man. Y'all be easy. Smitty, I'll holler at you soon as well. Y'all have a good week. Steelers, come on, man. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's revenge this loss, man, and go on up to New England and see what we can do over there. But don't sleep on the Jags. So that defense is real. I just don't trust Blake Bortles. I'm sorry. But all right, guys. Hope y'all team wins. Unless you're a Jags fan, and that's going to do it for this episode. I got to go. See y'all later.
Peace. All right. Peace.